If you take your childhood and the way that you've been conditioned, there are two routes that you can go in. Okay, route number one is you're born, right? You come into this household, whoever is raising you, and you were able to live up to the expectations of whoever is raising you, right? Whether that's a parent or your primary caregiver, whoever that is, right? They have certain expectations and you were able to be the perfect child, right? Oh, our child is so great. That's the golden child. And because you're able to do that, whenever you lived up to their expectations, you would receive a certain amount of approval, a certain amount of love. And that there will condition you and infuse a certain polarity. The polarity that infuses into you is you become what Ross Rosenberg would call codependent, or in that book, Attached, it would be called an anxious attachment style, where you're able to get that approval by living up to certain expectations, certain standards, and you just keep chasing it, right? Again, very anxious. Oh, I need approval, right? Another person's the source of the approval. Well, what do they want from me? And how can I mold myself to be that so I can get the love? Just give me the love, right? That's the codependent. That's the anxious attachment style. It's the person who really can't, for example, be on their own. They're always just people pleasing, right? If you're a people pleaser, there's definitely some of that polarity inside of you, and this runs you well into your adult life. Okay, that's route number one in terms of your childhood conditioning. Route number two, however, is you go the opposite direction, where instead of being able to live up to certain standards and being the golden child, you might be the problem child, right? No matter what you do, you might never actually be able to live up to those expectations, to those standards. And after a while, right, you keep on trying, you're like, please love me. And it's like, you just don't get it, or it's perhaps a very destructive household, just a very chaotic, toxic environment. And when that happens, you will then basically give up on trying to seek that outside of you and just being like, you know what, screw this, right? Screw trying to please others. I'm just going to bring my awareness, my focus onto me. And you will tend to be what in that book Ross Rosenberg will call a narcissist, or in terms of attachment styles, you will be an avoidant attachment style. Anxious, avoidant, okay, codependent, narcissist. This here also runs you well into your adult life. And what you'll notice here is if you're on this side of things, instead of being very people-pleasery, you will have problems actually, for example, showing genuine interest because all your focus is me, me, me. If you take the codependent, it's very others-focused, right? It's all about others. If you take the narcissist, it's all about self-focused, all about me. And your problem here will actually be letting, affection land, allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to basically open yourself up to others. If you've ever heard of the term push-pull, right? Push being, I hate you. Pull being, I love you. Same thing, right? Someone who's on the more people-pleaser side, they will have, a lot of, you could say, it'll be very easy for them to be like, I love you, I like you, hey, you're awesome. But for them to be like, I don't like that, I hate you, they can't. For someone who's on the other side of the spectrum, right, the narcissist avoidant attachment style, for them, oh, I hate you is very easy, but to actually say, you know what, I like you, thank you, I value you, they're gonna have a lot of resistance to that. Okay, so there is this thing is, these two polarities, and you can think of it as a spectrum, if you will, and every single human finds himself somewhere on this spectrum. Okay, here's, for example, codependent, in the scroll, good job. Hey, here's codependent, here's codependent, here's narcissist. Here's the perfect middle ground, which is impossible to attain. Don't worry about it. However, this leads us to another very interesting dynamic. Based upon this spectrum, let's just say you find yourself on the, was this side, the codependent side. Say you're very codependent, right? And you're very extreme codependent in terms of that middle ground. What's very interesting is you will attract and find yourself attracted to people who are proportionally on the opposite side of the spectrum. If you're an extreme codependent, you'll be very attracted to an extreme narcissist and vice versa. Okay, That's how it works. There's the spectrum, you have a polarity, and you will experience attraction and vice versa for someone who is proportionally on the opposite side. And the further away you are from that perfect middle ground, the more toxic and dysfunctional the relationship. The reason you will experience attraction for someone who's proportionally on the other side of that spectrum, right? Say you're an extreme codependent, all you will experience is extreme attraction for an extreme narcissist, is because that person embodies certain aspects that you disowned within yourself. Huge, okay? If you think of a narcissist, right? Someone's like all about me, it's very self-involved, so on and so forth. You could say general thought is, ugh, that's not very attractive, is it? But not through the lens of an extreme codependent, right? For someone who's very codependent, they're going to see that person who's very narcissistic, very, self-involved, and they're going to see it as being very attractive. Why? Because that person is embodying aspects that they're after, aspects that they actually disowned within themselves and that they're now seeking externally in another person, right? So we're all born, you could say, with the perfect amount of, of each, of push-pull, if you will, to simplify it. Say you went the codependent side, you disowned the push. So all you're left with is pull. And now you're like, I want push, I want push, I want push. Look at that person, all they do is push. So attractive. Someone in the middle would be like, that's a little too much, but not for a codependent. And same with the narcissist. They're going to see someone who's more codependent, and instead of being like, people pleaser, what is this? They're going to see, hey, someone who's going to listen to me, idolize me, so on and so forth, and embody some of the traits that I disown myself. So it's like these magnets. There's this pull, and basically both parties try to complete themselves through the other person. That's why it's toxic. Instead of completing yourself through you, you're like, well, I'm going to use this person to complete me. The other person, I'm going to use this person to complete me. And that is extremely toxic, okay? Even this whole idea of someone completes me, right? The idea of soulmates, terrible. Complete yourself. Stop using people to complete you, right? That's honestly the foundation of most relationships, which is why, to be honest, most relationships are just very toxic, right? Why? Because people try to use their partner to complete themselves. And then what does that lead to? Manipulation. More often than not, unconscious, but it does lead to manipulation where both parties try to keep themselves together because, hey, if you split, now you lose part of yourself. So it's two halves coming together, and then it's like, let's manipulate the other half so we remain one whole. Terrible. That's not love, right? That's manipulation. That's attachment. That's craving. Instead, complete yourself so it's two wholes that come together and there's a certain synergy that happens, and that's called love, right? Most people never actually experience love. All they experience is attachment and craving and fear of loss. That's it, right? And then their whole relationship is this web of a two-way manipulation. That's what happens, okay? Extremely toxic. And once more, the more on the extreme, the worse it gets. And this also explains why you might not even experience attraction for someone who you know would be a healthier fit. All right? Why do I keep falling for this? Why do these people? Why do I always end up in relationships that are so toxic and so abusive? And it's like, hey, you know would be a healthier fit, yet for some reason, the magnet in you goes towards the person who's proportionally on the other side of the spectrum. That's how it works. And here's the beauty. The more you work on yourself, right? The more you let go, for example, and re-own those aspects you disowned, the more whole you become in terms of that spectrum, the closer you move to that perfect middle ground. And the closer you are to the middle, now guess what? You will attract someone who's proportionally on the other side. And the closer you are, the healthier the relationship. That's how it works. You move closer by doing the work, and then you get into a healthy relationship.
Like, this program is such a game changer. The way everything's structured and the material, it's been already, even for me, it's just been, I'm noticing a crazy change in the way that my whole life's like playing out.
What you put together is just incredible. There's nothing like that.
I've just jumped like a million levels. It's just been a complete 180 for my experience of existing. It's Awesome.
It's just been so huge in terms of so many of the things I'm finally understanding and realizing and epiphanies I'm having.
What you do is a huge inspiration to me, and I think it's one of the most beautiful things you can give to another human in this entire world.
You saved my fucking life, man. I'm telling you, this is real, man.
Sometimes all it takes is just one person who believes in you. Find people who are where you are in life and model them, work with them. I would not be here if I didn't have people who held me accountable.
Wow.
I just felt a click and things are changing.
This program was just top notch.
Seriously, like this is a masterpiece. This is perfect.
Everything, the way it's set up, the live calls, like all the support from the coaches is incredible.
It's been nuts.
I just had my tears of joy.
This was the best decisions I ever made.
Thank you for creating something wonderful like this.
This program was phenomenal.
This program was amazing.
This program has definitely changed my life.
I know for a fact I'm in the right place.
This is exactly what I was expecting from the program.
It's been spectacular.
I feel really lucky to have found you.
Thank you so much, Julien. It's worth every dollar.